Hello, adventurer. It's good to see you. You have made it to the morning grind.
Welcome, welcome.
It's the live stream at the beginning of the Geekverse, where we talk about all types of topics in geekdom, gaming, and fantasy, with an emphasis on being constructive and creating the things that we want to exist in the world.
It's all on the grind, Sizemore. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
That's exactly right. There are a lot of adventures to be had today. Dungeons to explore and monsters to slay, and who knows what a random encounter might send our way. That's why we have to prepare, so settle in now for the morning grind with your favorite beverage in hand.
Tea? Or maybe something a little stronger. I've got a few bottles of the old Wynyard left.
Whatever you want. Pull up a chair.
Dude.
If you're feeling fancy, how about a cappuccino? Or a frappuccino? Or how about an espresso?
Just tea, thank you.
Sounds good to me, Gandalf. Whatever you want. I'm just glad you're here.
Everyone is welcome. You can just watch if you want. You don't have to worship anything you don't want to worship.
Thank you, Mike. But be forewarned.
Sometimes we get really strange characters around here.
Wait, what's that you say? Why can't you come and be a part of the stream?
My wife would disown me.
Oh no, I bet she'll be fine with it. Come on in.
Am I scared for my safety? No.
What are we supposed to do?
Everybody do the secret handshake.
Secret cultist handshake.
Oh, now do wizards who love each other.
This, my friend, is a science.
I still don't have gifts, but it's fine.
It's all on the grind, son. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
Dude, this would be a sick place to bring the band.
Indeed it would be, Dave. It really would. I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome, glad to have you here. Oh look, here's someone new.
Is this the cultist meetup?
Yes it is.
Come to hang out? Please accept me. I have nothing else.
Okay, we accept you. Everyone's welcome here.
Brought some snacks.
Well, that makes things even better.
You want some coffee? I don't drink coffee.
You sure? It's cultist coffee.
What makes it cultist coffee?
I'm a cultist and I'm drinking it.
Oh. Then I'll have some.
What exactly is going on here?
I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome. It's so great to have you. Oh, and look, here comes another stranger.
Can we help you?
Yes, fellow cultists. I could really use some food.
Oh yeah? Welcome. We have donuts.
Oh, it's me. I'm glad I'm here. I'm sure you have a few questions for me, though.
What's your name? Who do you work for? What god do you worship?
Great questions, Rob.
I'm Steve King, and I worship Nyarlathotep.
No, not really. I'm just Heath, and I won't be worshiping anything this morning. But I will be your host. Welcome to the office. We're going to have a great time. I've got my coffee ready, because now it's time for the morning grind.
If you could become a fish, that would be amazing. Then I could command you with my mental fish powers.
Hey, good morning. Oh, how about this? Hey, good morning. I am just sitting here putting the info out to Reddit. I just was about to hit enter here. We're looking at Kings of War Vanguard over on the Miniature Skirmishes subreddit. And so if anybody would like to come and join us from there, that has been posted and that's over there now. Okay. How is everybody? I've been super busy this week and had a whole lot of things going on. So I'm sorry I wasn't able to stream on Wednesday. But hey, so it looks like lots of people are here. I've got the physical hard copy here. I can't believe that actually we have not looked at this, the War of Kings Vanguard, or excuse me, I always say War of Kings, but that's my game. I guess that's why I say War of Kings. It's Kings of War. I had it wrong, and I adjusted it on the screen. But it is Kings of War Vanguard, and it's been sitting on my shelf for quite a while, and it's a warband game, but it doesn't look like we've ever looked at it on the morning grind before. But since we've been looking at a number of kind of skirmish games or warband games, I thought now is the time. Yes, I have had a lot going on this week, and I actually have a lot going on today. And tonight, I'm going over to my brother's house, and we're going to play Magic again with my nephews. So we're going to see. They like playing like round robin tournaments, so that's going to be going on. But we're going to take a look at Kings of War here for just a moment. So let's see. We've got hey Doc, good morning, Doc Flamingo and Stray. Good morning. 18 months, Doc Flamingo. Thank you so much. Hey, good morning, Sable. We've got everybody's coming. Stray, 30 months. Better with Bacon is here. RPG Exile is here. Good morning. Good morning. Mike is here for 13. Everybody coming in. 27 for Sable. This is incredible. Thank you all. Let's see. I've got updates on the Kickstarter, but I'm just going to put those out through the Kickstarter update. I don't have a whole lot of time this morning because I've got more stuff I have to do this afternoon after the stream, and then get to my brother's house. So I will update everybody on that through the Kickstarter. So I don't really think there's any kind of announcements this morning. I do want to see if I can get some additional light on this subject so we can actually see this book. Did I just leave the studio for some reason? Maybe I did. I was trying to get the, sorry about that if I did. I was trying to get the auxiliary camera going, get some additional light on the situation and get the auxiliary camera going. So let's do that. Screen sharing was camera. Yeah, I was gone for a moment. Extra camera. Oh, I think it's because I just unplugged the extra camera. Maybe. Oh, come on. Sorry about this, guys. Okay, yes, I did. I unplugged the extra camera when I was plugging in the light. There we go. Okay, all right. I got tons of stuff all over my desk too. Let's see. So let's go ahead and bring this up. But let's bring up the Kings of War. I think, please, StreamYard, just make this easy. It used to make it easy. Okay, well, there we go. We'll go with that. All right. Let's see. So this is Kings of War. I think I picked this up originally as kind of a Mordheim substitute. I don't know if it really is or not, but you know, it was difficult. And I think it still remains very difficult to get a hold of Mordheim. And I was interested in a warband game. This was probably when I was first trying to get the nephews into a game, and so probably picked up this one you know, around the time that my brother and I were building Kings of War armies, you know, we tried playing Kings of War for a little while. He built a orc army, and I've got like a human army. That one didn't click with the good morning, Tomocrat. That one didn't. Oh, StreamYard wants to, yes, StreamYard wants to breathe and sip. Oh, yeah, we didn't do that. So yes, we should do that. But that one didn't click with the boys either, at least at the time, like certainly Magic has. I've got ice water this morning. So let's I've got ice water in the witch's brew cup. So let's do a breathe and sip here. Yeah, this book is nicely laid out. It sure is. Tomocrat's bringing that up. Yeah, this is it's nice to see, first of all, to have the hard copy here, and then also, yeah, to see the nice layout. So let's breathe and sip. Let's take a sip of our favorite beverage. We're going to take 2 deep breaths, deep inhales, complete exhales, and then take a sip of our favorite beverage. Let's breathe. And breathe. Ah, all right. Yes, so this is by Mantic. Your Warband, Your Story, the fantasy skirmish game. So it's what says. Okay, so this one says, I mean, so again, we're talking about what exactly is the difference between a warband game and a skirmish game. So this does say the fantasy skirmish game, but then Your Warband, Your Story. Yeah, so it's on the cover, it doesn't say skirmish game. Let's see what it says on the back. It says, before the first charge, before weapons clash in brutal combat, before the victor gathers the spoils of war, battles will be won by the brave deeds of small elite bands of fighters. Commanders rely on their trusted war bands to disrupt the enemy's vital supply routes, light beacons to warn comrades of enemy movement, and seize winning positions on the battlefield. If the raiding parties do their job well, the battle is won before the troops have mustered. Welcome to Kings of War Vanguard, the fantasy skirmish game set in the, so this does say fantasy skirmish game back here, set in the magical realm of Mantica, where noble elves, haughty dwarves, and proud men battle against bestial orcs, the foul undead, and the creatures of nightmare itself. In this rule book, you will find the rules, a straightforward, concise, and highly tactical set of tabletop rules for staging audacious rage and daring missions with elite bands of warriors. I wonder if we're going to have facing in this. Scenarios, 12 exciting missions to plan and pit your wits against your opponent's motley crew. From capturing a giant to freeing a princess or assassinating an enemy commander, a wealth of adventure awaits you. Warband lists, basic force lists for 14 of the various factions and civilizations fighting for dominance across the world. Background, a brief history of the world, and a more in-depth look at the mighty Basilians and the horrifying Night Stalkers. Campaigns, link your games together and watch your warband story unfold. Gain new experience and learn new, more powerful skills and discover new equipment to equip your elite fighters, which I kind of think is a major component of a warband style game. Narrative play, guides for how to link Vanguard with Kings of War, Mantic's mass battle fantasy game. The actions of your small band of heroes can influence the clash of mighty armies. So that's what we've got here. Yes, Mike says, it's a game by Mantic Games, and the setting is the land of Mantica. Yeah, I noticed that too. As far as contents we have Welcome to Vanguard, the rules, creating a warband, and they do call it a warband here, creating a warband. And this centers the book. Okay, so I can be like this and kind of center the book. Creating a warband, scenarios, backgrounds, warband lists, basic equipment, advanced spell book, and then campaigns. Okay, well, let's try to get through at least Welcome to Vanguard and the rules. Oh, I know. I remember looking at this and thinking that this was humorous, because it seems like a lot of the times when you've got this a picture that looks like this in here, it's got really young kids in here, like 7 or 8 or something like that. And I thought that this one was funny. This one has 2 older guys that are playing this, which is more, people who are going to Gen Con and things like that. So I'm just so used to seeing like the 7 and 8-year-olds sitting in a spread like this. It's funny seeing these guys here, but I like it. That looks like just our general welcome. Let's see. Let's see if we can go through this quickly because so much of this seems to be the same. Oh, we do have, okay, we have special dice here. Okay, so models. Okay, and Mantic Game supplies models. Okay, let's look at how this game has got to be based. Models should be glued to the square or rectangular base they are supplied with, which will be size appropriate for the model. A model or parts of one may extend over the base, but the base itself defines what the model is for the game's purposes, such as measuring movement or range to a target. Typically, human-sized models come on square 20 or 25 millimeter bases. Big brutes like ogres and trolls can be on 40 millimeter or 50 millimeter bases, and cavalry can be on rectangular 25 by 50 millimeter bases. Yes, it is more relatable. It is relatable. Models should be positioned on their base in a way which clearly shows the way the model is facing, so it's obvious where the model's front and rear arcs are. Oh, by the way, just on the video generation front, I was playing with that Friday night, and I did start to use, I actually used Nano Banana. Are other people out there using Nano Banana? I played with Nano Banana on Friday night quite a bit, for about an hour and a half. Wow. It's funny that every time I complete one of like the music videos, like the next week or something like that, some new major tech comes out. So like with the witches, there was no Nano Banana. Now, next video, well, we'll have Nano Banana. Oh, you're right. So Mike says down here, it says models should be positioned on the base in a way that clearly shows the way the model is facing, so that's obvious where the model's front and rear arcs are. See page 25. Yes. So that looks like we have asked about facing every time. I mean, yes, I mean, look at this. This is a well put together book with all of the art of the miniatures and things like this. 25. Yes, looks like we do have facing in this one. Arcs and line of sight, front arc, rear arc. So there is something about facing in here. Terrain. Okay, this is a 3x3 area, standard size, the playing space required. Build your collection of terrain. Tape measure. Pre-measuring is allowed. You may check distances and ranges anytime during the game. When measuring to or from a model, use the model's base. We've got D8 dice. So Vanguard uses 2 types of dice. 8-sided dice are used for determining most actions. I'm already kind of liking this one. Kings of War itself did some things that I really liked. I think we've talked about that on the channel. Kings of War did some things that I really liked as well. Some other things differently, but, you know, some things that it had elements that I really liked. So this may too. You may sometimes have to roll more than one die to see what happens. For example, 2d8 means roll 2 8-sided dice and check the score, and check each score. Dice rolls may be modified. For instance, -1, subtract 1. Yep, got 1 + 1 + 1. Sometimes rolls may benefit from bonus dice or even lose dice. Add or remove the number of dice specified before making the roll. Power dice. Okay, so we got these right here, power dice. Power dice are D6 dice with special symbols on them. They are rolled to generate power, which is then spent on special abilities and activating your models during the game. If the rules specify to roll a die, a D8 is implied. The rules will explicitly say if a power die is to be used. So it looks like we got the red, blue, and white power dice with different number of swords on them. Rerolls, only one reroll, pretty common rule. Counters. Vanguard uses a number of counters to represent the status of models during play. These are placed next to the model as a reminder. Some have more than one status on them to help keep the number of counters to the table at a minimum. They are available to purchase separately. Activated, braced, fatigued, knocked down, wounds, and spell effects. Yeah, full color pages. Everybody's loving it. Better with Bacon is too. And this is also the cloth bound I was noticing. So this is definitely a high-end production here. Kind of like we're used to with well, we've been looking at Free League. So Mantic definitely produced a very high quality product here. Model stats. You know, I wish some of these games had, like, does this have any kind of license in the back or anything like that? Kings of War for big epic armies. Escalate the conflict. Don't know. Model stats. Didn't see one. Model stats. Not all warbands and their warriors are equal. They will have different abilities, strengths, and weaknesses. In the game, these are represented by models having a number of statistics, stats for short, skills, special rules, and other game values. Warband stat cards are available as a great reference to use during the game, so the details of your warband are easily at hand. So they've got a nicely laid out stat card too here. They have the IP for Halo. Oh, I didn't know that. And have based a game on that too. Faction symbol. So when which faction the model is fighting for example, Goblins, Northern Alliance, Basilians, Night Stalkers, etc. Your warband has a single faction, though it's possible to draft in other soldiers, such as mercenaries. Race, what race the model is. The model's race is also a keyword that may interact with other rules. Class, models will be one or more of the following classes: Grunt, Warrior, Support, Command, Spellcaster, or Large. Class is important when building a warband. Model's class is also a keyword that may interact with other rules. Height, height was something that I liked in, Handpants says that the Halo Flashpoint is really good. I don't personally know a whole lot about Halo. I mean, obviously I know what it is, because how can you not? But I don't think I've ever played it. I've seen my brothers play it. Height, I did really like. That was something that was added or something that was in Kings of War when talking about line of sight and things like that. The height of the creature, which is important. Like, in Hero Quest, you can't see the other models block line of sight, but everybody's like, "Can't you see over the dwarf? Can't you see over the dwarf?" And it does seem like you should. And of course, I guess it's a reasonably common house rule. But I like the specification of a height, so that, yeah, okay, so the elf can see over the dwarf and, cast a spell or something. And then also, like, if the terrain features have height, then you can add that in. And that's a way to determine line of sight that's not, we'll have to see how line of sight is determined here. That's not, use the laser pointer or something. Oh, he's up to a height of 1, up to a height of 2, whatever. Speed, distance the model can move in inches. Range, the value of the target, this value is the target number of the model. Target number of the model needs to roll to hit a target when using a ranged attack, typically as part of a shoot or cast action. Melee number, the value of the target of the model must roll to hit an opponent when making a melee attack. Armor, this value is the target number a model needs to roll to avoid taking damage and suffering wounds. Oh, really? Is the, like, the game name, like, the Mantic could have put any IP into that game, the rule set's that good? Is that like Flashpoint? The rule set? So armor and nerve. I mean, of course, there's a lot of influence here, the stuff that's come from Warhammer. Because, I mean, Kings of War was basically the replacement for Warhammer. Everybody went there from Warhammer Fantasy Battles before Old World came out, after they had nuked Warhammer Fantasy Battles in favor of Age of Sigmar. So nerve, the target number for any nerve test the model needs to make, this will come into play if the warband is broken or something unnerving happens. We've got wounds. The value shows the number of wounds the model can suffer before it's usually removed from play as a casualty. The larger number, the more resilient or stupid the model is. Wound counters are used to track how many wounds a model has suffered. They are placed next to the model as a wound is suffered. When a model reaches 0 wounds or fewer, it is usually removed from the game as a casualty. 2 injured to continue or possibly dead. Each model's card or entry will indicate the base size. Equipment. Each model in the game is assumed to be naturally equipped with the basic weapons, such as teeth and claws, and armor they need to survive. However, some models come equipped with extra ranged weapons, specialist armor, or rare magical artifacts that is specified. Okay, it says attack dice here. Oh, okay, let's take a look. What is this snow troll? Mike is saying the snow troll is a beast. So it's on a 40mm base. It's a large troll. Speed 6. Melee's at 5+ as missed out range. Armor 4+. Nerve 4+. And remember, this is on a D8. This isn't on a D6. This is on a D8. Because the first thing I said was 5+. Well, that's not all that bad, but it's on a D8. So, which I actually really like also using the D8s. We used D8s. No, we use special D8s for Enchantress. But my brother and I used D8s when we designed that game. And I think there's a strong, to me, there's a strong reason to do that over a D6 in a game like this. So I also like that. Some people might want to move to D10s, but so nerve 4+, wounds 5, height 3, regeneration on a 6+, vicious and crushing strength. I'm sure those are special abilities. This does say something like vicious swipe. When attempting to break away from the troll, every model has a -1 modifier when they make their armor save roll. Melee 4d8. Oh, so it looks like that's our target. So he's rolling 5+ right there, but then he must be rolling 4 8-sided dice to attack. So, okay, attack dice. By default, the model will use the number of ranged or melee attack dice statted on their stat cards. However, some equipment comes with its own replacement number of attack dice. If the type of equipment is followed by a number of dice, use that many dice with any appropriate modifiers when making an attack with that equipment. For example, a bow has a type of ranged. The model making a ranged attack with the bow uses the number of dice stated on its model stat card. I've got the D8 ice cubes. All right, well, I've got the whole set. It's actually a whole set. I mean, it does have a D8 in it, but it's the whole set. They're okay to make ice out of, but I made chocolate candies out of them. I'm sure there's a video floating around about it someplace. For example, the bow has the type of ranged. The model making a ranged attack with the bow uses the number of dice statted on its model stat card. However, if the same model was given the dwarf flamethrower, that equipment has a type listed as ranged 4d8. So use 4d8 instead. A model must have a weapon or spell with a listed range in order to make a ranged attack. If not, even a number of dice are listed for the model, and attack cannot be made. We also have equipment cards. Look at that. Now, the Mantic dwarves, I didn't really care for. Like these guys, I'm not sure what's going on with these guys. They've got like a weird helmet or something. But I do love the imagery, the layout of the book imagery. It makes everybody want to play on a table like that. What time is it? The rules. In a game of Vanguard, both you and your opponent take control of a warband that will be used to play an exciting skirmish encounter using your models. In each game, you will play a particular scenario that describes what each player needs to do to win. Maybe one side has to defend their army's baggage train from the enemy force, or perhaps both are fighting over control of a vital river crossing. Once the battlefield has been set up with terrain and objectives, the scenario you are playing will tell you how to deploy your models to play. Details on how to set up the ready table for play are found on page 47. Friendly models, enemy models, neutral models. Structure of the game, rounds and turns. Oh, I guess this is what we're going to be looking at. The structure of the game, rounds and turns, rolling for power, the end phase, things you can do, actions and activations and actions, fatigue, using power, how you do them, movement, arcs and line of sight, ranged attacks, melee attack, and nerves. Oh, we've got exploding D8s here. For certain roles in the game, a mechanism called exploding D8s is used. This means that for each natural dice roll of an 8, regardless of any modifiers, an automatic success is achieved and another bonus die can be rolled to see if a further success is achieved. It's possible to keep rolling 8s and keep getting bonus dice. Conversely, all natural dice results of a 1, regardless of any dice modifiers, are automatically failures. Scoring a 1 or an 8 after the application of any modifiers is not an automatic result. I like exploding dice too. A game of Vanguard is played across a number of rounds. Within each round, players alternate taking turns, activating their models until both players have completed activating their whole warband. A game might last a set number of rounds or be determined by a particular victory or defeat condition. The scenario being played will tell you how long you can play for, how long to play for. Typically, a game lasts around 5 or 6 turns, which the other one we were looking at was only 4. Which actually, I remember that Warhammer Fantasy Battles was often supposed to be a bit shorter game, but especially my brother was like, no, we got to keep going. We got to keep going. So it kind of surprised me that I just lost my train of thought. I was looking at the iced coffee up here. Yes, I do. We did make coffee. I remember that. We did make coffee out of those dice molds. So yeah, exploding D8s makes for more dramatic rolls and potentially more fun. So we talked about why would we use exploding rolls, and sometimes that's just the fun effort. But oh yeah, I was saying so that 5 or 6 rounds, that sounds a bit better, you know, without having played it. Who goes first? The scenario tells you. And this the scenario begins being played will determine which side takes the first turn in the first round. In the subsequent rounds, the player finishing activating their models first in the previous round. The player that finished activating their models first in the previous round takes the first round next turn. Okay, so if you have less models and the other player gets to activate them, we've talked about that quite a bit. Okay. Because or did I just think about that after one of the discussions that we had? And in Cantress, you know, if you start losing wizards, then the other person you're playing will get to take more turns because they still have models on the board. Sometimes that can be a bit of a death spiral, but here you're not going to have, okay, that person got to finish up moving their models, and then you got to go through them moving more models. Because here, if you moved all your models, then you get to take the first turn next turn. A round will always begin with both players rolling for power. Players then take their alternating turns. During each of their turns, a player gets to do something, act with a single model, a group of models, or a group of models of their choice. Each model in a warband only gets to act once in each round during the turn, which it is activating. A model is known as acting or the active model. Once it is finished acting, the model is marked as activated by placing an activation counter next to it. Taking turns. Once a player has finished activating all their models and declared they are finished, the player with models yet to activate continues playing turns until their models are also activated. Once a player has declared they are finished for the round, including any or all forced fatigue actions, they cannot then change their mind. All models must be activated even if they don't perform any actions. Players may not choose to pass a turn. Once all models on both sides have been activated, no more turns are played, and the round concludes with the end phase. So rolling for power. Yeah, so there's no exploding failure. Yeah, we talked about that too. So there is automatic failure on the ones, automatic failure. Which if you're doing automatic failure and automatic success or exploding, that feels like it's better done on the D8 than the D6. But yeah, you won't be exploding failure here. Explosive failure. Rolling for power. Power dice are a representation of the training, coordination, and cunning of a well-led and experienced fighting team. They are a limited resource that can be spent on accessing certain abilities or even boosting spells and attacks. Learning to manage your power resources and when to spend it is a skill you will have to master. 1. Roll. At the start of each round, before the turns are taken, each player rolls their power dice. Create your pool of power dice by taking 3 red power dice and then adding any extra dice as indicated on your warband stat card. Count only models that are still in play, not any removed as a casualty. These extra dice will either be red, white, or blue. Roll all of your power dice simultaneously. Re-rolling. After rolling, starting with the player who goes first this round, both players may re-roll one of their power dice for each model of a command class they have on the table in play. If the player re-rolls any of their dice, they must keep the new results. Important. If no models with command class are left alive on the warband, that player loses the ability to re-roll any power dice. 3. Set. Finally, each player sets their power dice results beside the edge of the table. They will be available to spend on augmenting the actions and abilities of the warbands during that turn of both players in the coming round. The total number of swords rolled on all the dice combined is the total amount of power the player has to spend during the round. Players can spend as much power as they like during a turn, and the dice can be used to track this. Any power that has not been spent by the end of the round is discarded. See table on page 20 for more detail about how and when power can be used. Then the end phase. Once both players have finished activating their models, including any forced fatigue, see page 19 and 20, the round concludes with the end phase. During the end phase, both players now perform the following steps in order. Resolve all effects and abilities that state they take place in the end phase. Spend any remaining power to clear fatigue counters from the models in the warband. Okay, so power removes fatigue. This is not mandatory, however. A player is free to keep a model fatigued if they wish. In readiness for the next round, clear away any activation counters from the table and all other counters that are no longer required. Any power still unused at the end of this phase is discarded. It is not carried over. Activations. When a model is activated during a player's turn, it may perform either one long action or up to 2 different short actions. One long action or 2 short actions. Any model that is in the middle of the activation is called the acting or active model. Note that unless specified otherwise by a special ability, rule, or forcing fatigue the model later, or by forcing fatigue the model later, a model may only perform each type of action once in a turn. A model that starts its activation as knocked down must stand up as its first action, even if engaged. The basic actions listed to all models are listed below, and whether it's short or long. Action must be completed before another one is taken. Actions. Walk, short. Only models that are not engaged may take this action. Move the model up to its speed in inches in any direction and leave it facing a desired direction. A walk action must be performed even if the model is being simply turned on the spot to face a new direction. So there we go. Facing right there. Models cannot move within 1 inch of an enemy model unless they are engaging one of them. See engaging on the opposite. See the full rules for movement on page 22. Shoot is short. Only models with a ranged attack option, spell or weapon that is not engaged may take this action. Targets a single model unless specified otherwise. The target must be in range in the front arc of the firing model, and the firing model must have line of sight to the target. In addition, the target cannot be engaged. Stand up is short, so if you were knocked down, you stand up. Melee is also short. The model takes a melee attack against one model it is engaged with in its front arc. Unless it intends to make a breakaway action, a standing model that is engaged with one or more standing enemy models must perform a melee action on one of those models. It may turn on the spot to put the target in its front arc if there is room for the base to fit. See the melee attack rules on page 29. Cost variable. Only models that are not engaged with the spellcaster class or not engaged and have the spellcaster class can use the cast action. Cast can be repeated as an action on a turn. It says it can be. The spell name will indicate if it takes a long or short action to cast. See magic on page 40. Run is a long action. As a walk action, but the model may move up to twice its speed in inches in any direction. If the model engages an enemy model at the end of its move, the run will qualify as a charge action instead if both the model moving had line of sight to the engaged target before it moved, It took the most direct route it could to the target, only deviating from a straight line to avoid impassable terrain or friendly models. In addition, the moving model cannot come within 1 inch of an enemy model it's not going to engage unless they themselves would be within 1 inch of the moving model's final position once engaged. If the move qualifies as a charge, the charging model gets an immediate free melee action against the engaged target. Yeah, I agree. So, Mike says facing is something this game certainly has going for it, as many other games simply simplify it away. I mean, this could be the only one that I've read that has that. And so I am liking that. I mean, again, there's going to be something that's going for the game that's like really light. That might be something that the nephews enjoy more. But this is definitely more my style here. Engaged. Models in base-to-base contact with a enemy model, what time is it? Are engaged by it. I'm going to have to go here in just a moment. So we're going to have to spend more than one engaging models behind obstacles. We're going to have to spend more than one day on this because I'm still very interested in this. But I'm concluding a bunch of stuff that I've had to do this week, this afternoon. And I've got to get ready to go. So, but this is engaged. Models in base-to-base contact with a standing enemy model are engaged by it. When a model moves to engage another model, place the front of the moving model's base flush against the target's base on the side contact that it was made as centrally as possible. If a group charge, see page 20, is being performed, arrange the moving models as equally as possible if they're going to engage the same target. So we do have some type of unit movement or group charge or something here. But it seems like a lot of individual stuff. But then, we had like group action and unit action in the last thing we read. If a group charge is being performed, we just said that corner-to-corner base contact is not enough to engage a model, so it's not a valid charge move for that target. See the melee attack rules on page 29. Only a qualifying charge action to engage an enemy model triggers a free melee action. A model that is knocked down cannot engage an enemy model, but it can be engaged by one. A standing model that is engaged by an enemy model can only make melee or breakaway actions. Okay, so yes, I'm gonna have to call this one short. So we've got another game to look at, but I want to continue with this one as well. So let's say that on Wednesday we will continue with Vanguard right here because I am enjoying it. I'll take this right here as our marker for where we are. Thing right there. So I appreciate everybody joining me. I hate that I have to go. I got started a bit late and then I've got to get going here, but I will see everybody later. And then we will continue with this on Wednesday and be on the lookout for other Kickstarter updates and things like that. So I will see you later. Have a wonderful day. Go forth, be creative and be constructive. Later.